Hey, good morning, and grace and peace to you. She wore faded jeans, soft black leather. She had eyes so blue, they looked like weather. When she needed me, I wasn't around. That's the way it goes. It'll all work out. It'll all work out eventually. Maybe better with him than here with me. Now the wind is high and the rain is heavy, and the water's rising in the levee. Still I think of her when the sun goes down, never goes away, but it all works out. It'll all work out eventually, maybe better with him here with me. But it'll all work out eventually. It'll all work out eventually. Tom Petty once said that was one of his favorite songs, one of the best he'd ever written. It's certainly not one of his most famous, but perhaps it's one of his most personal. It'll All Work Out was written in 1987 in the midst of Petty's brief separation with his wife Jane. And yet, though that short breakup prompted the writing of the song, Petty said that wasn't what the song was about. I think it's a song about faith and hope. The idea that it'll all work out reminds me of Romans 8, verse 28. All things work together for good for those who love God. Now, Paul was not claiming that all things are good in and of themselves. The apostle knew much suffering in his life, including being thrown unjustly in jail. And yet, while he was imprisoned, the same Paul could write a different letter to the Philippians, expressing the unexpected good that he saw while in jail. The unexpected grace, like being able to tell the jailers about the love of God. It's not that being thrown in prison was a good thing, but Paul could still see grace in it. In this, he is echoing an older story, one of Joseph, son of Jacob. Joseph told his brothers, the very same guys who sold him into slavery, that while they intended that act for evil, God intended it as good for many more. It'll all work out is about faith, then, that we often see in hindsight. That when we look back on a situation, we can understand that some good came out of it. That doesn't explain why bad things happen, but it does give us hope. And so this, in turn, reminds me of a saying by a 14th century mystic. Julian of Norwich lived in Great Britain in the time of the bubonic plague and the peasants' revolt. In addition to these national crises, she suffered an illness that nearly killed her. And yet Dame Julian had a vision of the risen Christ and was given the message, all shall be well. All shall be well. as we seek to endure these national and international crises, as well as the personal struggles and tragedies that we all face. We would do well to remember Joseph and Paul, to remember Julian, even to make St. Tom Petty's song one of our favorites, with faith and hope, believing that, yes, it'll all work out eventually. May it be so.